how they're living. They're stressed out, stuck in negativity, constantly in emotions of distress, and it takes its toll on the body, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're constantly stressed out, and through whether it be through your job, whether it be through school, whether it be through your own internal battle, whatever you're going through, or suppression, it can create a living hell.
I got the sage burning up in the crib. Shawty wanna see how I live. First I gotta see what a vibe like. You know that it come for good the whole night. Pain on a young nigga's mind.
Welcome back to the 7th episode of the Conscious Cast with my boy Cole. Today we're going to be talking about the shadow side. And when I mean shadow side, I mean the unaware conscious part of ourselves that literally influences us every single moment of the day. And so, this, since we're humans, I hope...
Mark Zuckerberg was a lizard man.
Yeah. It's very relevant within a lot of people's lives, but a lot of people aren't aware of their subconscious mind in the sense that like they're not aware of what it actually is and how it influences them on a day-to-day basis, because your subconscious mind, although it's unaware, is 90 to 85% of your whole entire consciousness, right? And then the next 10 to 15 is like your actual attention, like your ability to self-reflect. Like that's that 15%, like what we're doing right now, that rationale, that logic. And then that subconscious is the unaware party, which is the 85%. And it's kind of crazy to think about because we think we're all good, you know, we think we're chilling, and that 10 to 15%, everything through that filter appears to be all right. But what you actually program your subconscious mind a great deal through your conscious mind. So if you're constantly exposing yourself and interpreting like what your mental diet is, I uploaded a video on this a couple like a week ago or something, but it has a heavy influence on your subconscious mind of what you actually like within your life. So.
Yeah. And it's weird. It's like there's a lot of subtlety that is like, well, actually, the entire nature of the subconscious is subtlety, because it's like, it's weird. It's like, think of it like the back of your eyes. It's a part of your eye, but you can't see it. It helps.
Good,
it helps you to see, but you don't know it's there, or you don't really feel that it's there.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of why it's called the shadow. It's like the shadow. Wherever there's light, there will be that dark reflection.
Yeah.
But that's always going with you.
You're facing the light though, you can't see the shadow.
Exactly.
Dang. Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's a big thing. It's like, I don't have like necessarily. I probably have a lot of experience in this area. I just don't know necessarily how to put it into words.
Yeah.
Or I just don't know how much experience I have in it. Okay. But it's like, I feel like from my perspective of like the shadow stuff, a lot of people orient it towards negativity, which is very true in a lot of senses. Yeah. But there's also like a subconscious positivity as well, which is like kind of like resilience to a degree, where it's like, you know, I in my heart know that like I can get through something, but like I can tell myself that all day. Now that will help, you know, and change the mental diet and change the subconscious, but deep down, there's a piece of me that will like, you know, what wakes you up at night and says, get after it.
Yeah.
You know, that's to a degree what I feel like my shadow self. It's just a little voice in my head, or like it's more of a feeling really that
comes up every now and then.
That just and it
spontaneous.
Yeah, and it's neutral. To a degree, but it's really depending on my conscious mindset, what direction I'll take it in. It's literally a fire, but fire is what you perceive it to be. If you know, it could be something to warm you up in times of struggle, or it could be a weapon to torch down a forest. Sometimes my like conscious mind sometimes are oriented towards destruction, but I have to reroute the flame to create. Yeah. It's like a furnace for like a forge. You could use it to, it could be used as a method for creation, but it can also be used for destruction.
Okay, yeah, that, like, what you just said right there is really good. Like you said, we always get back down to this issue, right? Mm-hmm. It's your thoughts, right? You said this, and I just, oh fuck, I forgot to render the second part. That's what I was gonna do before I left and came here. But yeah, you said I was like the third or fourth episode of the sixth part, and you said like thoughts are cancerous, but they're also fucking awesome. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this as well. I read this in a book yesterday. It says you don't let your thoughts master you. Have them as a servant, because that's what they are. They're a tool. They're not supposed to control you. But if you're constantly in your conscious mind conditioning yourself, it's not our fault. It's just how the evolution of consciousness has been. It's just what it is. Probably 50, 60 years from now, 100 years from now, it might be different if we're even still on this planet.
Yeah.
But until we recondition our minds to just not be overtaken by the thoughts and let them master us, it creates a living hell for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I was rereading this. I was turning in a religious paper final paper that I had to refer back to an old meditation paper I wrote a year ago. And I was reading it and I was like, oh shit, this is really good. And then I read this one piece of evidence that I can't believe I forgot. We always talk about fight or flight on this situation, or on this podcast. And when people are constantly thinking, right, you could think of a certain scenario and it'll arise up a lot of emotions, right? And that emotion usually involves negativity, like we said, right? And the piece of evidence, I forget exactly what it said, but kind of to paraphrase, it says, in a large sense, people spend a majority of their lives in a flight or fight mindset, right? Because they're constantly thinking, they're constantly hypothesizing, they're constantly thinking of what's going to happen, and just, all these different perspectives and stressing themselves out constantly. And what do you know? That what happens in their free will, conscious mind falls back in to their subconscious mind, which literally picks up on everything. And so through their conscious mind, programming their subconscious mind, that becomes their dominant state, right? That fight or flight scenario, how they interpret things, how they perceive things, is literally how they're living. They're stressed out, stuck in negativity, constantly in emotions of distress, and it takes its toll on the body, right?
Yeah.
If you're constantly stressed out, and whether it be through your job, whether it be through school, whether it be through your own internal battle, whatever you're going through, or suppression, it can create a living hell for you.
Yeah, and I thought of a perfect analogy for or metaphor rather, for the whole programming your subconscious mind. Think of it when you drop dye into a body of water.
Yeah.
The color is in your control. The water is your subconscious mind. The water exists as neutral.
Yeah.
But you're dripping these different colors in from your subconscious mind. That little dropper, that 10%, is affecting the rest of the 80%.
Yeah.
And you're dripping it, and slowly the color of the water will begin to change.
Yeah.
But you, even though you may not know it, are in control of what color that body of water will be.
But it's the only way you can get to the subconscious mind is through the conscious mind, right?
Yeah.
Because, don't get me wrong. We don't have full control over our environment, right?
Yeah.
External factors, no, we don't. But what we do have control over is what we said, our mental diet, what we're interpreting, what we're eating, what we're exposing ourselves to on a daily basis. And if it's things, this could be even, for example, porn or something, right?
Yeah.
If you heavily watch porn, there's nothing wrong with doing it every once in a while, stuff like that. But if you're constantly doing that, in your conscious mind, all you're doing is just, whacking one off, but your subconscious mind can't tell the difference, right?
Yes.
Your subconscious mind doesn't know what words are. It doesn't know the situation like your conscious mind does. It is preparing. It thinks that you're preparing to have a baby. That's what it thinks, right?
Actually,
and so you become attracted to your phone. And this is something that I have dealt with a lot. This is why I literally didn't fucking do that shit for 8-9 months, because I realized how much of a toll it was taking on me and my perception to women and my attraction. Yeah. And I'm gonna be transparent. I was more attracted to girls on my phone than girls in real life. Think about that for a second. That's fucked, dude. That's fucked.
Yeah.
And I don't. You can judge me, whatever the hell you want to say. Say it, okay? It's the truth. I don't know what else to tell you, But that is even with social media, all these types of things.
Oh, yo, absolutely.
Dude, you know what I mean? It's just
bro.
It goes it goes way deeper than what you think
Yeah.
it is
Mhm.
and perceive it to be.
Yeah, like that's a big thing about people. Like they'll, due to like the disconnection from like, due to like our phones give us, it's like some the phone, depending on what you consume through it, it is like you taking that. It's like you taking that dropper
Yeah,
and giving it to some rando,
Yeah.
and whoever that rando is will control the color of your water.
Yeah.
And like, that's fucked.
Yeah,
it's like
for real.
like, I feel like Instagram, like we're not women, clearly.
Really?
I mean, well, not clearly. We live in an age where people can do whatever the hell they want.
Exactly.
There are,
We have penises, period. All right?
There we go,
There
yeah.
we go.
trying not to get canceled over here. But yeah, no, essentially, like from my experience, women, the girls our age, or they have such a fucked up perception of the female body. Because they're used to seeing this in our experience.
Yeah, in our experience.
I'm generalizing, but
From your own experience.
From
though,
my-
yeah,
yeah.
we're not making it an independent from your own mind
Yes.
assumption. Yeah.
from what I've seen,
Yeah.
girls our age have become so attached to these Instagram models with
Yeah.
perfect bodies and shit.
Yeah, the
and they-
hourglass figure.
Exactly. And they feel like they need to emulate, like that's the gold standards, and they hold themselves to that standard, and if they're not to that standard, they feel like they're less than something.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah.
Because societally, like women are supposed to be beautiful, and they're supposed to feel beautiful and confident and powerful.
Yeah.
And when and then when people perceive them that way, they feel good and shit.
Yeah.
As anyone probably should. But if they with girls more than guys, it's much more of a problem where if they don't feel like that, there's a well of negativity that they're getting dropped into.
Yeah.
As opposed to guys that I don't want to say conditioned to it, but it's not our gender stereotype, for lack of or I guess that's the word, isn't oriented towards beauty.
Yeah.
It's oriented towards
Personality in a sense.
I was gonna say serving a purpose.
Okay. Yeah.
If you look at a great man, for example, I
Handle
guess
his own shit. Yep.
yeah, the standard picture of masculinity. He's a buff dude that can fucking fix the house. Can work with his hands and do manly stuff. But you can still be perceived as a man if you're not jacked.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
We have much more avenues to that perception of being masculine than women do.
Yeah.
Femininity is extravagant. It's about beauty.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not as bad. If I was a bigger guy, not jacked, but if I was overweight, and I still provided a service, and people would respect me for that service I provide. One of my friends, who will go nameless, he's like a mechanic, and he's not in the best shape, but people go to him because he knows his shit about cars.
Yeah,
he gets
right.
respect through that avenue.
Yeah.
It's for us, for men, it's more about respect, and for women, it's more about beauty and praise.
Yeah. Facts.
In my experience,
Yeah, in your experience, in the brackets, yep.
Yes.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that, and even being a bodybuilder, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to. I don't know if you know what Chris Bumstead is, but
Fuck yeah.
okay.
Fuck
Everyone
yeah.
wants to look like Chris Bumstead. All these fucking amazing, unattainable physiques. I'm just gonna say it that is a 1 in a billion fucking physique. All right,
not naturally, but most bodybuilders.
to reach
But-
naturally, Chris Bumstead? No, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah, impossible.
But-
to be,
But even then,
it's genetics. Yeah.
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 look no further than Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman he's the shining example of Mr. Olympia because
Yeah.
he was the biggest human. He
strength,
was
yeah.
the biggest human on the planet.
Yeah.
As far as bodybuilding goes,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
dude was fucking shredded. He was down to 2% body fat at 400 pounds of pure muscle,
Yeah.
and he was comfortable with that. That's pure genetics,
Yeah.
without question.
And hard work, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not discrediting him.
But
at
I'm
all.
saying, you can't get, he was saying itself, if everybody was on the same stuff that I was on, and put the same like work in, same regimen, same everything, he would still be that big.
Oh, yeah.
Because of his genetics.
Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But kind of to relate this back to the subconscious mind in a sense. When we're on Instagram, when we're on these different online avenues, it could even be in person, right? When we are used to perceiving individuals in a way, right, or judging them in a way, it's, at least in my experience with the brackets, it is almost like a conditioned response that comes up spontaneously without even thinking, right? Like, see, I'll see like a bodybuilder, in terms of like the bodybuilding scene, right, and competing. I was like, there's no way this guy with this physique would win this competition, right? Stepping on stage, there's no way he'd win that, right? And I almost like devalue his physique in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously his physique is insane, right? But then I kind of like flip the script and I'm like, oh, that's kind of dog shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but it is also a very subjective thing, and it depends on what you're thinking about, and it depends what standards and terms you're relating it to. But kind of in a sense, like when we're viewing things, it's very hard to stay in a state of non-judgment. It's very hard.
Yeah, it's hard to be neutral.
It's very hard to be neutral, and we're very inclined, and this can relate to a lot of areas, whether you're watching something, to view things from your own values, beliefs, morals, right? Because that shit, even though you might not be able to consciously think of it, is deeply ingrained within you. And so, like we were saying earlier, the only way to get through to the subconscious mind is through your conscious mind, right? Mm-hmm. To reroute your values, to reroute your beliefs, and if you want to, obviously, but if you're really heavily considering, why am I constantly thinking negative? Why am I constantly experiencing reality as negative? My friend, it is your subconscious mind, okay? Yeah. And there are many videos on YouTube. There are many ways to do this, but the best thing you can do is just pay attention to your own attention, all right? Like, just literally, like, it's as simple as that, and being present. It really is, right? Because once you do that, you'll begin to pick up on patterns, like why, right? And it begins to make space within you, and you get to see the patterns of how it's influencing you. And without that awareness, you're going to be on that autopilot state of mind, right? And that is when you are prisoner to your own mind. That is when the thoughts are mastering you rather than the thoughts being served.
I got the sage burning up in the crib. Shawty wanna see how I live. First I gotta see what a vibe like. You know that it come fuck up the whole night. Pain on a young nigga.